Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, right on. Happy Sunday. Happy, beautiful weather. My goodness, there's many things. Happy Women's History Month. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have ever stopped by, but the Smithsonian Institute has a wonderful interactive program on Women's History Month. It's really a neat thing to maybe share with some of your nieces, nephews, children, whatever. It's really a cool thing. So I invite you to go to that and check it out. The crocuses are croaking. Has anybody got any oh my goodness, they're all over my apartment complex. Little purple ones and little yellow ones. Crocuses. Anyway, so, and I'm starting to see some daffodils are popping up. They don't have any flowers yet. It's just there you go. We got lots of those. And don't forget, daylight savings time is next Sunday, so spring forward. Otherwise, you're going to come to our 11:30 service, which doesn't actually exist. So, but I'd be happy to sit with you, whatever. And of course, the Parade of Planets, right? Right now is the best time to see the Parade of Planets. So I think there's some interesting places or folks that are having little telescope parties and things like that. And parade is probably a good segue into the talk today, emotions in motion. And so so the reason why a parade kind of came to mind, well, I was talking about the Parade of Planets, but also works with emotions. When we attend a parade, right? When we attend a parade, we oftentimes sit on the side and wave and enjoy the spectacle and, enjoy all that's going on as they pass by. But in an emotional parade, we don't tend to sit on the sidelines and wave. We tend to run out, jump on the first float we can, and ride that sucker to the edge of town. So this emotional parade, especially in today's climate, if you will, emotions are one of the most confusing and challenging of human experiences. And so most of the difficulties actually even in our life have come have their roots in the emotional landscape. So now I want to be sure and remind everyone that there is no such thing as a bad emotion. They're not wrong. They're not evil. Emotions might certainly be unpleasant. They might certainly be painful, but they're not wrong. I love what our daytime Buddhist study group on Wednesdays at 1, they shared with me the other day that they've added, you've often heard the phrase, this too shall pass. And of course, this is a very popular Buddhist phrase, but they've added, this too belongs. And I really like that. It's a way of embracing every aspect of our life, even the painful aspects. So this too belongs. These emotions are wonderful messengers. So I want to be sure and make sure everyone realizes that emotions aren't wrong. They can be unpleasant. They can be painful. But the Sufi poet Rumi even encourages us to invite those emotions in, to sit down and have tea with them, because each one is a messenger sent from the beloved, as he puts it. And I also want to mention, as we kind of dive into this a little bit and unpack it, the importance of involving and including professionals in your life, whether that is a doctor working possibly with chemical imbalances that can really throw emotions out of whack, or maybe working with a therapist who can also help you come to terms with what you are feeling. It's so interesting in our practice because we work with emotions. And in fact, I'm going to be talking about one of the key ways of working with really intense and strong emotions, but that requires us to recognize what has arisen. And so therapists can really help us understand what certain emotions are. So oftentimes emotions maintain a low intensity, or they come on slowly. They kind of work their way up the scale, so to speak. Or oftentimes emotions just show up one at a time. Wouldn't that be nice? And so, however, our current life situation and, the things that are going on in our, not only our country, but indeed our entire world right now, certainly has thrown much of those aspects of our life into chaos. And the emotions are kind of filing through now like a marching band. Sometimes all together and sometimes one band at a time, but they're much more intense these days. And they're coming very quickly. And again, like I said earlier, sometimes they're coming in groups. And so I felt it was important to talk about this today because it's what's happening to me. I'm feeling them. It seems like every day I get faced with a whole brand new group of emotions. Like, oh, okay, so that's who's coming for breakfast today. And so our practice, you've heard our teachers here at Temple Buddhist Center use the phrase, our practice has prepared us for times like these, or we were built for this. And so one example of this phrase and why this is true is the teaching on the difference between pain and suffering. In the Buddhist tradition, there is a very clear and distinct separation between pain and suffering. Pain is a natural part of the human experience, and there are basically two kinds, physical and emotional. However, suffering, the mental kind of pain, is completely optional. One of my teachers, I would go in and rant and rave about whatever the current circumstances are. And, he'd be like, well, how are you feeling about this? I'm outraged. And he'd say, but are you enjoying it? And of course, this would stop me in my rant because I was trying to process that. And so as practitioners, this moment in time is also a unique opportunity. And I know people are like going, are you out of your mind? But again, Buddhism always offers these wonderful paradoxes, helping us to truly embrace this idea of being in the world, but not of it. And it's not escapism, and we're not running from anything and not putting our heads in the sand at all. In fact, it's the complete opposite of that. But it's a paradox, so it's difficult for us to wrap our heads around this. So this period, what we're going through right now, offers us a unique opportunity. Why? Because of the concentration of emotions that we are being faced with each and every day as we find out some new atrocity or some new thing, or a friend is laid off, or we've got friends who are, suffering because of the impact of the things that are happening. So much of it is coming. This is an interesting opportunity because in the same way that you see things differently when you speed up a video, we can experience emotions differently when they come in rapid succession. So this is kind of cool. I mean, I didn't, wish this on anyone. I didn't wish for this, but the reality is it's here, isn't it? And the emotions are coming. We don't have a choice in that respect. The emotions are real. My teacher would always say, your body will never lie to you, and your head often does. So the emotions are showing up. The emotions are real. Your thoughts about the emotions are usually delusional. So the emotion is real. It has shown up. So when the emotions slow cook, they can be hard to notice, to observe them, because it's kind of that old frog in the pot thing, right? You're just working your way up, and you're talking to this person, and next thing you know, they're kind of slow cooking. But when they come quickly and intensely, then they really stand out. And one of the things that stands out about this is you now see the beginning and the end of each of these emotions as they all show up. This one shows up, and then just before you're about ready to experience this one, here comes another one. And so this rapidity, the rapid succession and the intensity of them provides us with a new perspective. If you're able to become quiet and observe it, if you're caught up in it, then no, it's hell. But if you're able to become still and spacious, give the parade room to unfold, then a new perspective can form around this. It is a new facet of the diamond, so to speak, a new way of looking at things. Instead of the natural response, the conditioned pattern of speech and behavior that you employ every time you are mad. Oh, I have the same response every time I'm mad. I look for someone to blame. Or every time you're sad, I hold up in my room and I don't eat and I watch soap operas for 3 days. If you can step out of the conditioned ways that we react to mad, glad, sad, whatever the emotion is, then a fantastic opportunity arises to experience this in a new way of looking at this. And as always, with a playful curiosity, an interest in how this form that we all call Victor operates and how it reacts and how it responds. And when you can see the rapid succession of emotions, wow, this is a new way to look at this. So again, this does not mean that it's not painful. This is our practice to continually expand our trust in our own capacity to be present in difficult situations, difficult mind states, difficult emotions within the body, to be present with it all. I often talk about the Buddhist Macarena, right? There's the clinging and the grasping, and then there's the aversion, and then there's the Buddhist open hand. Kind of got a little Buddhist Macarena going there. If we can be present with the 10,000 joys and the 10,000 sorrows, it changes everything. So as we mature spiritually, more and more we observe the mind states. It's like kind of watching that little movie Inside Out, which I just love. And so except that what's going on, the emotions are now in our body instead of somebody else's body. But you could still have that same playful thing where, oh, that's anger. And so, anger in that little movie In and Out, I think he's red, isn't he? And he's short and he's very, he is, oh yeah. So, there he is. So it's kind of a playful, fun way to what's going on, what is arising within, and bring observation to this. because this awareness of what is arising, and I am aware of the thought patterns that go with the emotions that are arising, this awareness unties every knot we have. Awareness of a thought or an emotion means you're not in it. You can't be aware of it and in it at the same time. What a beautiful teaching the Buddha has given us. This ability to step out of it and observe. And as I was saying, these emotions are fabulous messengers that are bringing with them a message. If you find yourself angry, then anger is this fabulous messenger that has brought you a gift that is telling you where your line in the sand is. This is not okay with me. This is something that is going to move me to action. That's anger's job. Anger is a secondary emotion. Fear is the primary emotion, but nobody wants to feel fear. It's easier to feel anger because that's the action arm of fear. So it's moving us to action, that's all. And when you can approach the anger from a perspective of observing it, purifying it, releasing it, because you know what it is and you know what to do with it, then you can take action, fierce action, but from a place of love and understanding, not from a place of hatred, not from a place of division and separation, but from a place of love and understanding. And again, it can be fierce. You could be at the march supplying everybody with 150 different signs, but none of them angry, none of them hateful, just signs for human dignity, signs for social justice. So what if I lose my job? Okay, anxiety has shown up. Anxiety, again, is not your enemy. It is not wrong. It is not bad. Anxiety has shown up to say, hey, you are caught up in the future. And guess what? It doesn't exist. So wake up, my friend, wake up. If causes and conditions in your life have changed, then it is perfectly reasonable to take steps, to take precautions, all in a necessary direction, but doing so in equanimity, in joy, not in anxiety and worry. Worry is an abuse of imagination. Think about that for a moment. The more vivid your imagination, the more you can turn it on yourself and create tremendous suffering because your imagination can imagine all the horrible things that are going to happen. Worry is an abuse of imagination. The mind, perhaps, is longing for connection, just like I used to have in the past, in the good old days, right? So sadness shows up to say, hey, you have attached to a belief that it's always going to be this way, haven't you? Oh, yeah, I guess I did, didn't I? Wake up. You're caught up in delusion, my friend. They are to blame for this, them, the bad ones, the crazy ones. So hatred shows up to say, hey, my friend, you still need to heal. This is where you are stuck. This is where you are holding judgments against others and yourself. You can't have judgments about others and not have judgments about yourself. Judgment is not even natural. Nothing in nature judges. It's something that we create. So here is this opportunity to see the world through the eyes of the divine. if you have a faith practice through whatever deity you want to insert into that slot, to see the world through the eyes of love, to pull the camera back when they are all together like this, when the emotions and the thoughts and the feelings all show up at once, it provides us with this opportunity to pull the camera back. And in this, you can see the Buddhist practice of the 3 marks of existence. Within Buddhism, there are what is called the 3 marks of existence. These are that life or existence is impermanent, unsatisfactory, and selfless. These are not mandates, these are observations. And it's easier to see those when it's all concentrated and compact. It's also more painful, it's awkward, it's uncomfortable because it's so much. My friend Nikoi would always say, everything's happening so much. But when it's that way, instead of blame, instead of judgment, instead of why me, why now, I always thought the apocalypse was somebody else's problem. Instead, it gives us this wonderful opportunity to really see the 3 marks of existence. Yeah, that's life. And when you can embrace impermanence, when you can embrace this unsatisfactory quality, because it's not a mandate, it's telling you that it's unsatisfactory because we cling and we try to keep things away. And you can't. No matter how hard you cling, everything leaves us. And no matter how hard you try to keep the bad stuff away, it still shows up. So relax. Rest in the present moment and embrace this amazing experience that we call human life and all of the things that come with it. So, what to do when the emotional parade arrives? Or maybe it's here right now. Our practice gives us so many wonderful tools. Guided meditations on emotions as passing waves. Samavayama is wise effort. The more that we practice witnessing and recognizing rising emotions for what they are, the less likely we are to become swept up in them. Loving kindness, loving awareness of emotions. We often forget, my friends, to be kind towards ourselves. When we are experiencing difficult emotions, instead, we might have a tendency to move into judgment, guilt, blame, or shame. And this is very brutal. It's a brutal thing that we do to ourselves. It is an act of violence to sit there and allow these thoughts to punish us. At the same moment that I am aware of something that has just happened, and I'm aware of my broken heart, I'm also aware of the joy of being able to see that, of not being caught up in it, and taking that broken heart, blaming someone, and then devising a plot for their demise. So I can wake up to the joy. I can hold, the human heart is vast. It can hold both of those simultaneously. And also rain, R-A-I-N. You can Google this. There's a Buddhist nun by the name of Tara Brach, wonderful teacher, author, speaker, writer. She has coined this phrase, rain. My teacher was doing it with me way back in 2004, so I understand this process. But rain simply stands for, the R stands for recognize what has arisen. The A stands for allow it to be here, because that's the truth of this moment. Your head's going to want to take you into the past and the future that don't exist. Be here, be now, present with what has arisen. The I stands for investigate it. What does anger feel like in your body? Where is its epicenter? Does it pulse? Does it vibrate? Is it solid? Is it soft? Does it have a color? I'll spend 15, 20 minutes in meditation, fully embracing and exploring whatever has arisen. And notice that when you are working with what is in the body, look at what you're not doing. You're actually with what's real. Instead of bantering the 35 reasons why you should do this and the 35 reasons why you shouldn't. And then you devolve into Schmeagol from Lord of the Rings. Oh, yes, no, it's not. Oh, but it might be. No, it ain't. That's what I love about Schmeagol is he is us. And then the in rain stands for nurture. In the same way that you would nurture a crying, fussy baby, that fussiness is what you're feeling inside. The anger has created a fussiness. Love on it, nurture it, express and release it. You're not meant to carry it around, but the more you think about it and blame and judge, the bigger it grows and the longer you carry it. Scientists have actually shown that most emotions only last 90 seconds. Is that not phenomenally interesting? I didn't know that because I've been carrying some of them for 57 years. I remember what you did. So our practice today, my friends, is to embrace the emotions that are coming quickly and in large groups, and to allow every experience to inform your practice. Your practice doesn't end the moment you walk out the door. Your practice doesn't end the moment you sound your meditation bell and your meditation has ended. Your practice is every moment, every day. And your life. Your practice is your life. Thank you.